This is an article that came out in Bloomberg Politics, March 15th, 2018. Russian hackers attacking U.S. power grid and aviation, FBI warns. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this article and then I will play the video. Russian hackers are conducting a broad assault on the U.S. electric grid, water processing plants, and air transportation facilities and other targets, and rolling attacks on some of the country's most sensitive infrastructure. U.S. government officials said Thursday, so they have reason to believe that this is going on, but you notice this is not in mainstream news. The announcement was the first official confirmation that Russia hackers have taken aim at facilities on which hundreds of millions of Americans depend on for basic service. Bloomberg News reported in July that Russian hackers had breached more than a dozen power plants in 7 states. Now, see, this is the first time I've even heard about this. An aggressive campaign that has since expanded to dozens of states, according to a person familiar with the investigation. Since at least March 2016, Russian government cyber actors have targeted government entities in multiple U.S. critical infrastructure sectors, including those of energy, nuclear, water, and aviation, according to an alert issued Thursday by the Department of Homeland Security and Federal Bureau of Investigation. Critical manufacturing sectors and commercial facilities also have been targeted by ongoing multi-stage intrusion campaign by Russian government cyber actors. Meanwhile, you got President Orange trying to block and obstruct anybody from investigating Russia. Cyber attacks are literally happening hundreds of thousands of times a day. Energy Secretary Rick Perry told lawmakers during a hearing Thursday. The warfare that goes on in the cyberspace is real. It's serious, and we must lead the world. I don't think so, but let's move on. Separately, Thursday, the U.S. sanctioned St. Petersburg-based troll farm, 2 Russian intelligence services, a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, and other Russian citizens and businesses indicated by the special counsel Robert Mueller on charges of meddling with the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Wow. And I can see them doing that, before a real attack on America to attack the infrastructure and bring everything down where, Americans won't even be able to call for help. I can see them doing that. There are places in this world, countries and nations and people that don't even want America to exist anymore. A joint analysis by the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security described the hackers as extremely sophisticated, in some cases, first breaching suppliers and third-party vendors before hopping from those networks to their ultimate target. The government's report did not say how successful the attacks were. And I wouldn't be surprised if this government is hiding a lot of things. They usually do, not surprised. The Russian hackers targeted small commercial facilities, networks, where they stage malware, conducted spear phishing, and gain remote access into energy sector networks, according to the Homeland Security alert. An industry government partnership provided potential indicators of compromise for electric companies following Thursday's announcement, said Scott Aronson, vice president of security and preparedness at the utility trade group Edison Electric Institute. The federal government alerted grid operators to a threat targeting the energy and manufacturing sectors last summer. But the incident didn't affect operations, he said. You know, I'm thinking back, like over the summer, there were several attacks on the cell phone communication in this country. And it was pretty wide. It went straight across the country and everything. And you know what, this just reading this is making me think about that. Okay, the hackers deliberately selected targets and methodically went after initial victims as a way to reach their ultimate prizes, including industrial control systems used by power plants and other infrastructure. Their tactics include sending spear phishing emails and embedding malicious content on informational websites to obtain security credentials they could then leverage for more information and access. And once they obtained access, the attackers conducted network reconnaissance and move into systems to collect information on industrial control systems. The government alert on Russia's cyber attack does not cover suspected meddling by the countries in the 2016 election. So apparently, with all of the investigation going on with Trump and the election and the Russians, they were managed to dig up all of this additional information. You know, now I fully understand why they don't want to let Trump off the hook for Russia meddling and him and his administration and even his own family communicating with Russia prior to the election. And now you see so many other things are coming to light behind that. So let me just go down a little bit. US intelligence officials have long been concerned about the security of the country's electrical grid. The recent attacks, striking almost simultaneously at multiple locations, are testing the government's ability to coordinate an effective response among several private utility, state, and local officials and industry regulators. Many of the targeted power plants are conventional, but the attacks included at least one nuclear power plant in Kansas. Bloomberg News reported in July, while the core of the nuclear generator is heavily protected, a sudden shutdown of the turbine can trigger safety systems. Um, these safety devices are designed to disperse excessive heat um, while the nuclear reaction is halted. This is scary. That they don't even have to physically be in this country, they can be somewhere else and mess with a nuclear plant through a cyber attack. That is crazy. That's insane. But apparently, they are seeing the Russians actually hack into the system. The operating system at nuclear power plants also tend to be legacy controlled, built decades ago, so they're outdated. So, that being said, how fast would they really be able to respond to a hacking on an old legacy system and don't have digital control systems that can be exploited by hackers? You know, you have to wonder This is only a little piece of what we're hearing. You have to wonder how bad this is. And like I said, you got Trump trying to obstruct, trying to do everything he can, going on Twitter, blasting anybody that's um, participating or part of the investigation, people in his own cabinet. He's been going after them on Twitter. This whole thing is a mess. It really is. But you see how much is coming out. And again, Trump, only interest he is concerned about is his own. He could care less about any of this stuff that's going on. Please tell me what you think, because this is some crazy behind mess. Oh, before I go, let me see if I can play the video. Let me see if I can refresh this, and then I'll play it. I did say I would.
Attacking some of America's most sensitive infrastructure. U.S. government officials said Thursday the U.S. electric grid and air transportation facilities are just some of the targets. The announcement is the first official confirmation that Russian hackers have taken aim at facilities on which millions of Americans depend for basic services. Energy Secretary Rick Perry sought to assure lawmakers on Thursday that he is working to shore up the energy sector against cybersecurity attacks, but admitted he is not confident the federal government has an adequate strategy to address the daily cyber attacks.
All right. All right. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell twice and join me over on Black Junction TV and blackspot.com. I'm still trying to work my way on getting my videos up over there. I think I got it. It's just going to take a little more effort on my part. Peace, family.